Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1321. Today is Wednesday. It's hump day. It's trash day. Trash is at the curb. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the show. We are going to play a little. Wait. No. We're not going to play anything today. It's only Wednesday. But on Friday, we're going to play Name That Player. No, today we're going to talk about eBay sales. I ran some numbers yesterday. My eBay sales numbers for October, again, very good. I've been setting records in my eBay sales the last 3 months, and there have been some keys. There's not a magic key. That was I had in my previous job, I had a manager that was his biggest advice, just thing that he would always say was, there's no magic key when it comes to sales. There's no magic key that all of a sudden you do this and you're going to see a huge increase in sales. So, and that's the way it is on eBay. There's just no magic key that unlocks a tidal wave of record sales, but there are multiple things you can do, and we've had people in the chat here over the last couple of weeks talking about my sales are down. My sales are down. What's going on with my sales? How come I'm not making more sales? So we're going to talk about what I've been doing here over the last 3 months that's really increased my sales, and it's honestly a lot goes into it. It's not just, well, run auctions, run a 50% off sale, get good deals, get lucky. There's a lot of things that go into it. There's not a magic key. There's not a magic key ring. There's not multiple key. Well, there are multiple keys, but there's not just a couple things you can do. There's multiple things that not only you can do, but you have to do if you want to increase your sales on eBay. So we're going to talk about that. There was something, we had eBay auctions last night, a slow night. I'm sure that people were probably watching alternative programming last night. So we had slow eBay auctions, but it's kind of, somebody texted me last night and they're like, there was like 15 people in the YouTube live, which is really low for our Tuesday night auctions. I had like 200, but most of those viewers were on Twitter watching via Twitter. We only have 17 right now, so people must have slept in. And that's between Twitter and YouTube. So, so slow night on eBay auctions, but it was kind of good because last night's eBay auctions were kind of crappy. Like I didn't have, there were a couple things where we had some bidding action at the end in the final few seconds. Really though, honestly, with the in what I consider kind of crappy auctions in terms of highlight on a live stream, they were crappy. Like not much action in bidding, low, 99 cents, $1.50, $3 auctions. Those aren't fun. You want the bidding wars and the hot products, hot cards. So we do have some good auctions that started last night that will end next Tuesday. And we'll stream live, of course, on this channel, 7 p.m. Central next Tuesday, and count those auctions down. Basically, I didn't have any time to create new auctions, so I flipped it's about 55 buy it now listings to auctions. And I do have a big batch of auctions ending tonight. There's over 100 autographs ending tomorrow night. So check out my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more items, buy it now, regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. That discount code does not apply to the auctions. You're already getting steals and deals on the auction. No need to take another 25% off. So the discount code only available for buy it now over at 99centcards.com. Ooh, hot. My Bucky's coffee mug. I was actually up at 5 a.m. this morning. I was still like 2 minutes late getting the stream going. But here we are. Ernie survived doggy daycare without incident. There was no pool parties with dumped over buckets of water. So Ernie was in good spirits and he came out clean and dry, somewhat clean. I mean, doggy daycare when you're there all day. My wife goes, is he going to go to doggy daycare tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, but we don't, but we don't, I just read John Keating's comment down here. My stream was perfect this morning. That's good. When you're getting older, you got to worry about that stream. So I'm happy to hear with your age that your stream was reliable this morning. So Ernie loves doggy daycare. So I check in, on the nanny cam every once in a while throughout the day. Ernie's always in the mix with the other puppies, just mixing it up, having a good time. And yeah, he can go back. I still have closing in on 300 orders to ship. I basically from Monday. Now, I wasn't as productive as I would have liked to be just because I was so tired on Monday. But I did do nothing but shipping on Monday. And again yesterday, and I woke up yesterday morning to about the same amount of orders to ship that I did Monday morning. And I'm like, I'm never going to get unburied from this. How am I ever going to recover? But this morning I'm still at 285, and I've been shipping since roughly 5:30 this morning. So about an hour and a half of shipping, and I'm at 285. So keep making progress. That's all we can do. I'll just keep the nose to the grindstone, but it is a good thing because eBay sales are up. We have had some eBay sales success, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Trash is at the curb. Last night was a pizza and beer night because I didn't eat enough on the road this past weekend, but it was one of those things. Tuesday's tough because I go, I want to get my stream ready for 7:00, and it's just kind of like, let's just do something quick. And I'm like, let's just throw in a pizza, and had a couple beers. So pizza and beer Tuesday night. Trash is at the curb. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hey, don't forget this Saturday, I will be in Rockford, Illinois. This Saturday at the IBEW Banquet Hall, I think is what they call it. Can't think of the address, but just check out Rockford. Google Rockford Card Show if you need the address. Rockford, Illinois. I'll be set up with quarter boxes and some dollar boxes. Won't have much. I may have a couple new boxes from what I had in Janesville a few weeks ago, but kind of focusing on. I'm not focusing on any card show yet. I want to get through this week, and then I can start kind of turning my focus to getting some bargain boxes ready for the Chicago Sports Spectacular. Coming up in a couple weeks, I will be set up Sunday only, thanks to my buddy Wally giving me his table on Sunday. So I'm going to come down Saturday afternoon to Rosemont and walk the floor, maybe dig through some bargain boxes Saturday afternoon, and then I'll be set up on Sunday at the Chicago Sports Spectacular. And of course, on Saturday, November 30th, right after Thanksgiving, you're tired of your family, you want to get out. So come out and see us Saturday, November 30th at the Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. I've had many people ask, like, how long's the waiting list? The waiting list is nearly 100 dealers deep. So there is a long waiting list. So if you are a dealer, you want to get in right now, priority is given to vintage. I need some vintage dealers. Sports car dealer. Vintage is kind of number one on the totem pole for dealers that will jump in line to get in on the Madison Card Show, then sports car dealers, and then Pokemon dealers. So that's kind of the hierarchy right now for the waiting list. Dates are set for first quarter. So we've got Saturday, November 30th, Saturday, December 28th. I've got to get my phone out because I always confuse the numbers. So Madison Card Show, January is going to be the last Saturday of January, the 25th. Then we're going Saturday, February 22nd, and Saturday, March 29th. So those are the upcoming dates for the Madison Card Show. And table prices have increased for effective January. Table prices will be $60 each effective January. This is the first price increase in the history of this Madison Card Show. It's been $50 since day one. So table prices are going up effective January 2025. So any dealers, and I'm going to try to get that word out now so people aren't surprised once January hits and like, hey, by the way, table prices are going up. What? But $10 is an easy price to pay. I was able to last year they increased my rates like 25%, and they've raised my rates every year. But last year was a tough pill to swallow. I was able to get the additional revenue that I needed without raising the table fees. I just took out the volume discounts. There's no need with a nearly 100 dealer waiting list. There's no need for volume discounts anymore. So let's go to the chat. We're going to talk about eBay sales this morning, and I'll tell you, there's no, again, like I mentioned at the start of the show, there's no magic key to sales success on eBay. But collectively, there are many things you can do to see your sales increase. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Todd's here. What's going on? Good morning. Mike Smith's here. He says Bitcoin hit 75,000 all-time high. Michael Renicky, good morning. Kyle in the house, good morning. No more political ads when I listen to you and Dale Jr. on YouTube. Thank God. And I thought it would end like after I logged my vote, but I think I got like 5 or 6 text messages within 2 hours of voting yesterday. Brian, what's going on? Good morning. Long live the hobby. Amen. Philly Joe, good morning. What's going on? Mr. Archer's in the house. Good morning. What is up? That 70s card show is here. He says my hair looks great. He's lying. Brian says your hair looks good too, John. John says my stream was perfect this morning. Always reliable. My hair has been retired, but thanks. Gundy's in the house. Good morning. Zach and Porter are here. Good morning. Ruben Sierra followed me on Twitter yesterday. I'm a pig in shit. Zach and Porter with Ruben Sierra. The 87 was at the Gold Cup, the 87 Topps Rookie Gold Cup. That was like a grail card for an 8-year-old beau. The Ruben Sierra, because he was hot in the late 80s. Red Light 34, good morning. John says, you guys were too busy napping and juice boxing to realize Ruben Sierra was a huge mover and shaker in the card game in 1987. I was not too. That was kind of my start in the hobby. 87, I was too busy napping and juice boxing in 87. But 88 and 89, Ruben Sierra was still hot. And that 87 Topps Gold Cup was still hot. So I do remember, of course, I was 8 years old, 7 years old, but I do remember. Brian says back hair is still hair. There you go. There you go. His 87 Topps was a huge deal. Zach says Wally Joyner and Ruben Sierra pulled a lot of weight in 1987. Corey Snyder also drove profits like Bitcoin. And Kevin McReynolds. Who else was hot in 80? Pete Incaviglia. Double A Cards. Good morning. Red Light says, did you ever get what I sent you? Yes. Thank you. I picked it up. I think I was on my way to the airport. No, I wasn't, because I went to the airport super early. But yes, I did get it. Thank you. Red Light 34 sent me an Aldi key, a key to Aldi carts. So thank you. I won't have to look for a quarter. I've got a keychain that I can get into and access an Aldi cart. Thank you, sir. Max is in the house. Good morning. John says, office getting messier. I give it a year before the new place looks like the previous Hobby Evolution studio. It is, right? It's been like this for a while, but you just see like more and more shit just kind of stacking on that countertop. So I need to tackle that. Make it look a little cleaner in here. John says, 100 dealers on the list. Jesus, start taking bribes. Dutch auction for tables. I know, that's kind of what I think about. Every time I have more dealers offering me more money than I have dealers complaining about potential table increases. And it's like, well, let's follow the money. Let's see, but we're not going to do that. But it's a good idea. If I was a shrewd businessman, maybe I'd do that, but I'm not. I'm too nice. HBG Gaming, good morning. Ed's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Long time you've been since we've caught you live. welcome back. John says, I'll take 2 tables, charge it to Mexico, please. John says hi to Ed. Morning, Mother F, as you fill in the blanks. Tables should be $100 at that show. Herman, good morning. Mike is dancing because Bitcoin is up. 100 dealer waiting list means someone else will start up a new show. I kind of think somebody should start a Pokemon show the same day as the Madison Card Show, because Pokemon, there's so many Pokemon dealers. Like I could probably do a 100 to 150 table Pokemon show. So if anybody's Pokemon out there, start a show the same day as the Madison Card Show and do Pokemon only, and could be big. Good morning, Johnny. What's up? Having a great day. Sold one of my Bitcoins last night. Next sell will be at 80K. George is here. Low roller, I'm dancing, but not because of Bitcoin. It's because this damn exhibition is only a day away. George says, also, I know you're incognito, Low Roller Scratcher. Yeah, Low Roller. Mike Smith, a.k.a. Low Roller Scratcher, if that's his real name. Come on, Mike Smith. Peter's here. Good morning. Merle, what's going on? If political ads would quit hitting you after you voted, that would be the best reason to vote early. I know, right? Let's see. Max says, wouldn't have a show if tables were 100. Oh, yeah. Oh, there would totally be a show. There would totally be a show for $100 a table. It wouldn't be 150 tables, but there would still be a big show at $100 a table. Because let me tell you, there have been multiple dealers who have paid $100 plus for tables just to get in. They also get bumped to the top of the line. Max says, going to lose a few with a $10 bump, I'm sure. I don't think so. I don't think so. There may be some guys that are like on the fence already at $50 that won't set up, but that's okay. There's plenty of people on the waiting list that will pay $100. Red light, you're welcome. Michael says, appreciate the niceness. Hey, you are welcome. Let's see. For some reason, my mouse isn't working. Suggestion, record tutorial videos instead of doing demos on Hobby Evolution. You'll get views. Views equals revenue. I know, but that just takes more time, and I don't want to do that. I like doing Hobby Evolution where I can just bullshit and not do the tutorial videos. I hate tutorial video. I know they get clicks because the tutorial videos I have on my channel are the most viewed and most revenue generating videos. But I don't do YouTube for the money. I just like coming on, and it's my water cooler. Again, if I was a shrewd businessman, I'd be smart and I would do that, but I'm not. I just want to come on, hit the live button, shoot the shit for an hour in shipping and listing and shipping. Asking how to list and demoing on Hobby Evolution is a bore for all but the one who asked. Amen. I would be bored too. That's why I like just shooting the shit. Where are we at? Let's see. No allegiance to people that have consistently set up and built the show, I guess. Find that odd. What are you talking about? I haven't raised the prices ever. And you're talking about I have no allegiance to the people that have consistently set up. Cry me a fucking river. If you don't like a price increase, then go start your own fucking show. Don't do the show. $10 raise. If you're going to be getting your panties in a bunch over a $10 raise where you bring in thousands, do another show. You don't have to do Madison. Do another fucking show. They've raised my rates every fucking year, and I haven't raised yours, raising it one time. So suck it up, Buttercup. Where are we at? Cody's in the house. Good morning. Hit a Billy Williams mini auto and a PCA patch out of my Allen & Ginter box. Very nice. Victor is here. Good morning. Go Bears. Merle says, wouldn't a demo be a tutorial too? Yeah, demo, tutorial. I think they're kind of one and the same, right? Mark, good morning. I bought 1989 Jeffries over Griffey in 89 Upper Deck. That piggybacked me buying an 86-87 Fleer basketball for 90, opening it. and selling Jordans for $7. Oh. Well, if you made money back then, here's a perfect example why I don't look back. I don't look back at my previous sales and being like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because here's the thing. If I would have bought in 1990, if I would have bought a Michael Jordan rookie for $7 in whatever year, 1989, I feel like there were a lot more than $7.89. But let's just say, I would have sold that long ago because I just don't I don't keep things. And I guess I keep Cubs now, but I was never that way. It's like I pulled a Giannis RPA out of a $20 Black Friday box. Timeless Treasure. It was on a Black Friday sale, Timeless Treasures. And it sold for, this was before Giannis, this was probably 2016. So he was good, but he wasn't the star that he became. And it sold for $75. And now I look back and it's like, oh man. But the thing is, if I didn't sell it for $75 when I did, I would have sold it for $150 or $200 when they got to that price. I wouldn't have kept, I don't keep anything. It's all inventory. Well, with the exception of my Cubs. So that's why I don't look back and I don't get upset over, it's a fun story to tell, but in reality, it's like, I would have sold it eventually anyway before, I never would have kept Bitcoin. I had a bunch of Bitcoin. I made a lot of money on Bitcoin, but I made a lot of money a long time ago. If I would have held on to it, I would have made a lot more money because I think I decided to sell at 40K. It's like, well, if you would have held out for 75K, I would have had to wait until 2024 when I sold at 40K back in 2020. It's like I use that money for other things and just kind of let it roll instead of just letting it sit. Mike Smith says, I will be back looking for free bonus skill games today. There you go. Free bus pass for Mike Smith. Good job. Hopefully all of the crisis actors from the political commercials have been redeployed to pick up signs today. I'm not sure that people understand what supply and demand mean. Apparently not. Kyle says, I'm excited to hear Madison Card Show on January 25th. I have business to do there that Saturday. May have to stop off John Nolan Drive. I think it was January last year that you made an appearance at the Madison Card Show. And that's always I won't say the biggest. I guess it depends on what your definition of biggest is. It's the most trafficked card show of the year. Typically, historically, January has been the most trafficked Madison Card Show since 2022. Because I think, when did I start it? 2021, April, and then 2022 was the January show. Flawed Thinkers here. Good morning. Brian says, supply low, demand high, prices go down. Duh. Your live auction videos are not water cooler moments. They are to generate revenue. Well, that's different, though. That's not a tutorial. That's just a live auction to drum up interest for, and that's not Hobby Evolution. Hobby Evolution is just water cooler. eBay auction live on Tuesday nights. Of course, that's to drive revenue to my eBay auctions. And the reason I did that was because Cooter told me to. But really, I enjoy watching my auctions end. When I have auctions, when I would run auctions previously, I'd be on the couch watching my phone, refresh. Where's this going to land? And it's like, I might as well just I'm doing this anyway. I might as well just do it on YouTube. Orlando is here. What's going on? Good morning. Brian says, Max is crying like a liberal crybaby. Oh, snap. John bought a new Ford for $6,900. That's a nice price. In 1986. Why did Ford raise prices? Mark then flipped the money made on those Jordans and bought a truckload of new Coke. Right on. Max struck a chord. Well, don't bitch about a $10 increase over 4 years. George says, suggestion, just drop back to 200 subscriber channel and give no fucks and collect no revenues. And yes, I'm way behind because I'm drunk and dumb. Cheers, George. 99-cent cards CA. I remember selling 86 Fleer basketball sets for $20 at local shows. Ouch. But that was and you were probably happy with that. And I think that's one thing we have to remember about in sales. Like if I one example, and I've shared this many times, the 2018 Topps Update case. I paid $450 for it. Flipped it like 4 months later for $1,750. I was ecstatic. I mean, I thought I could flip it for like $1,200 in the same amount of time. So to get an extra $500, I was very happy. And then if I would have waited another year, I could have flipped it for $5,000, which is what they were going for. But I was happy. I didn't have to wait a year. I had, an extra $1,000 profit that I could play with and use toward other things. Would go to Maine to get them for about $10 each, sell double back home. See, you doubled your money. That's flipping. That's what you got to do. And here's the thing. There's always what people also don't realize is, well, what if I would have kept them and now they're worth, $20,000 or $10,000, depending on condition, I guess. But what people don't realize is you don't know at that time. Like the price was $20 and you could double your money. That's a guarantee. But you don't know that they're going to be $20,000 in 40 years. And what about the Greg Jeffries? Because you got to remember, Greg Jeffries were hot and selling. Well, if they sell for $1 today, they could sell for $10 in 10 years. Doesn't work like that. Sometimes 86, 87 Fleer basketball, it turns into that. But there's 1,000 or more cards and items and sets that do the opposite. They're the Greg Jeffries. And what if you sit on everything? What if you just hoard everything? You're going to be fucked. You're going to have a warehouse or a storage locker full of 89 Topps, 88 Donruss. Well, fuck. 86, 87 Fleer basketball went to the moon, and 88 Donruss went to the shitter. So that's how I look at it. Mark says, funny, the dealer begged me to buy the 86, 87 Fleer case for $90. He had it marked at $150. Yeah. Flawed Thinker says, the only look back at selling a card at the wrong time is last year sold my Bowman Chrome First Churio Gold Shimmer Auto the week before he signed his big contract, but I've kept the snowball rolling since. And there you go. Sometimes, I've made a lot of mistakes. 72 Topps high numbers. Oops. But you learn from it. I'm never going to forget what 72 Topps high numbers are again. It was a learning moment. I still made money. I paid 8 cents for those cards and I sold them for $2. That's a great return from a percentage standpoint. Now I could have got an even bigger return, but oh well. George says, don't worry, Max. Was it in an A chord or a B chord? That's all that really matters. Cards are secondary. He plucked the G string. Johnny says, sometimes I feel like I'm watching the Bob Newhart show and should take a drink every time you say Madison Card Show. Do it. Let's take a drink. John Nolan Drive. Or 99-cent cards. You'd be hammered if you took a drink every time I said 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. That does not include auctions because there's already steals and deals on the auctions. 99centcards.com. I've got auctions ending tonight, by the way. I've got a nice mix of auction items ending this evening. And then tomorrow, it's like all autographs. Over 100 autographs ending at auction tomorrow night. 99centcards.com. And don't forget the Madison Card Show at the end of the month, Saturday, November 30th, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. Everyone takes a drink. John says it's amazing how the NBA didn't have their shit together when it came to licensing cards way back when. Yeah, the NBA was, and what's so crazy about the NBA is the NBA now, today, has its shit together more than the other professional organizations, where it was like decades behind. the NBA didn't catch up until like the late 80s, and they finally caught up. And now they make baseball and football look dumb. Max is in too good of a mood to worry about it. Dan says, I spent some money on Menkos today. First time in a few months that I bought any cards. Welcome back. Welcome back to buying cards. It's been, it's been 2-3 days now for me. Didn't buy any cards yesterday. George says, I once broke the E string on my bass. I was channeling my inner Bootsy Collins. There you go. Bitcoin. But what if you bought like a coin? I don't know cryptocurrency, but what if you bought shit coin and it's now worthless? George is in that mood too. I'm drunk and happy. La 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 la. Andy Max, been in card shops with the guys who are always waiting for the right time. No, thank you. Right. And that's the thing. You see it. Well, I paid $10 for this and now it's worth $5. But if he goes off, it might go back to $10. And it's like, and you wait and you wait and you wait. And then instead of going from 5 to 10, it goes from 5 to 3. And now it's like, well, if I wait, it'll go back to 5. And you wait and you wait and you wait. It goes from 3 to 2. And it's like, well, maybe I could get 3 or 4 out of it. You wait, it goes down to 1. And then you're sitting on $88. Let's be clear. There was no guarantee you could double your money back then on 86, 87 Fleer. The ones who did so took a small risk. Jeffries could have been Griffey, and Griffey easily could have been Jeffries. The key to eBay sales is to have good shit at good prices. And that is the key. At the end of the day, yes, end of story, period, exclamation point. The end of the day, put good shit on eBay at good prices, and you're going to sell. People will buy your stuff. Put Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, he's probably, people are still buying his shit right now. Put a Patrick Mahomes something on eBay and put it under comps, and it's going to sell. Put Patrick Mahomes over comps. You're like, well, I'm selling good shit. Well, you have it listed too high. It's not going to sell. Drop the price. Boom. Magic. Mike Smith says, I was telling Bo buy Bitcoin at 16,000 last year. He didn't listen. I sure did not listen, and I'm not listening now. What sport is selling the best right now? This is a weird time that I talked about a few days ago. This is kind of a strange, fourth quarter is always a strange time because baseball is like kind of in the rearview mirror. Football right now, we're in like the dog days of football. Basketball is starting up. I don't know the basketball market well. I really don't know. Typically, the months leading into a pro season are when, it spikes. I mean, I sell so much random shit that it just kind of depends. Any good shit at good prices, like Brian said. If you have good shit at good prices, it's going to sell. I think if you go from like an all-encompassing number, baseball is always going to be the best selling because there's just more baseball cards. There's more baseball card buyers. That's just a fact. Baseball is always going to be number one. Football is always going to be number two. And I shouldn't say always, but it's been that way, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. So baseball, football, basketball, I wouldn't put Bowman Chrome prospect autos up right now. I mean, unless you get a great deal. Again, if you buy something for $1 and it's worth $10, you can put it on for $7. It's probably going to sell. And that's one of the keys. So it's really hard to say, like, there's really not like huge movement from a sport basis. It really does come down to just liquid players in good prices. And that's what's going to move. If I went and bought a $10 Bowman Chrome auto of some random prospect, it might only be worth $10 right now, maybe $15. And I'd probably sit on that. If I bought a Joe Schmo first Chrome auto from 2023 Bowman draft and it comps right now at $15 and I paid $10 for it, I'm going to sit on it right now because that's a speculative play, which I wouldn't do that a lot. Some people do, and that's their business. My business model doesn't really surround speculation too much. I do, but for the most part, I try to get cards at the lowest prices, so I have some room to sell under comps, list under comps, therefore sell them under comps and make the sale. Scott's here. What's going on? Good morning. George says, I could hit go live, but it's kind of fun living in the future and past. It's Wednesday night in Korea, but I'm behind on the Wednesday morning stream. Mike Smith is the winner of the first Hobby Evolution 24-hour PTO raffle. Good shit, by the way, means stuff that has legs. No FTM after the market is cooled. No cards based on someone signing a long-term deal. I put little effort into my store, and my sales have been incredible lately. Same here. And I've been doing multiple things. And here's the thing. Just because I do something or some things doesn't mean it's going to translate into your store. And just because John's having incredible sales lately, if you do what he's doing, doesn't necessarily translate to success for your store. It's all individual based. But going back to what Brian says, good shit, good prices, you're probably going to have some success. Orlando says good shit equals vintage, and vintage seems to always move. There's no off season for vintage. If you speculate, then you have zero right to complain about slow sales. It's a gamble. Absolutely. I agree with that. George says, did you spray some pleasure spray on your listings, John? Sliding right out of the store. Mark's here. What's going on? See you in Chicago. Booth confirmed. I will be there. I'll be there Saturday afternoon, walking the floor, and then I'll be set up on Sunday. Orlando is 100%. So some of the things that I do, again, I've had the last 3 months have been my highest sales to date since going full-time in October of 21. There's a lot of different keys. Now, some of it has to do with luck. The estate sale, I got kind of lucky with not only deciding to go and check it out, but then finding the cards that I found at the prices they were at. And I was able to get lucky by buying the rest of it on Sunday. The Goodwill pallets have been extremely giving lately. And I haven't even sold the trout yet. Haven't got it back yet. Should be getting it back here next card show. So there's been a string of luck that has come with it. You know my thoughts on luck, though. You make your own luck. So luck does have some things to do with it. But if you're always looking, always be looking. People complain, well, I never find those types of deals on Facebook. Now, and I say that, my area, but I'm not always looking. From time to time, I look. I had a dealer at one of my recent card shows say, I'm surprised you didn't. Did you see this on Facebook? And I'm like, no. He's like, I'm surprised you didn't get it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally would have bought that. It was just like a bulk lot. So if you're always looking, you'll find those deals. And that's where I make my money, is buying in bulk, finding those bulk deals so I can get that card price down to minimal so I can afford to list these cards under comps and be the lowest seller. And I think that's key in low end sales. In business, customer service goes a long way in certain businesses. In cards, in-person sales, card shows, card shops, customer service is key. When it comes to low end sales, to bend over backwards over a $1.50 card, a $2 card, a $3 card, it's just not worth it. It's transactional. So you can afford to be the lowest on the market. And that's, I say it every day. My customer service sucks. But I'm also selling $1.50 cards and 99-cent cards. And so I can afford to lack in that area. Now, do I recommend doing that? No, of course not. But it's how I run my business. At the end of the day, good stuff, good prices, you're going to make sales. Also, I think people have unrealistic expectations on their sales. And when people ask, how come my sales are down? What can I do to increase my sales? I don't have the answer. Because A, unless I'm looking at your store, I don't know what you're selling or what they're priced at unless I go look. And then B, I don't know what your expectations are. I'm not in your head. And we all have our own set of expectations. Our own opinions are, well, my sales are up, my sales are down. Well, what's compared to what? What are your expectations? You know, if you want to sell 100 items today and you only have 1,000 items in your eBay store, you're going to be let down day after day, unless they're auctions and they're good auctions, priced right. Again, there's caveats to everything. You know, if you have 100,000 listings and you're like, I'm only making 50 sales a day on 100,000 listings, nobody's buying baseball cards, but I go look and it's 91 Upper Deck Commons. Well, nobody's buying that. I shouldn't say nobody. Every once in a while, I sell some of that stuff. But your sell-through rate's going to be minimal. Now, if you put some nice 3D superstars, vintage football up, and you price those at $1.50, $2, those are probably going to move. If you price some 86, 87 Fleer at $5, they're going to move. And that's the key in having not necessarily low expectations, but realistic expectations, having realistic expectations on your sales. I have phenomenal success with my 50% off sales. And there's two reasons for that. Really, there's more than two, but we're going to highlight the biggest reasons. Well, there is three reasons that we'll highlight. Number one is the following. I have 4,500 followers to my eBay store. That's a huge number. So there's a lot of people seeing when they get that email notification or whatever, 50% off coupon, whatever it is. That's a lot of customers that are repeat customers coming back in, shopping the store. That's key. Another key is my pricing. My pricing is typically, now with the exception of, you know, maybe an Allen and Ginter Common from last week's release is at $1.75. That's, I wouldn't say that's crazy. I mean, on eBay, that's a fair price, but it's something I would put in my quarter box, you know, locally at a card show. So having good prices, if you run 50% off sales and you really don't have inventory that people want, or if you're 50% off sale, if you have new Allen and Ginter listed at $3.50, 50% gets you down to $1.75. It's like, well, I could just go to Bo's store and buy his Allen and Ginter for $1.75. And if I buy 7 or more at regular price at $1.75, I'll get 25% off, save even more. So those are some of the keys. So following, it all comes down to inventory and pricing. So those are some of the biggest takeaways that have led to my success. And I'm going to get to the chat here in a second, but before I forget, auctions have been a huge boom to my eBay store and my sales success. And we're on episode 1321 for about 1,250 episodes. I said auctions suck. I hate auctions. Don't do them. And here I am running auctions almost every night. It's called hobby evolution for a reason. But I've also learned what to auction and what not to auction. Auctioned off a lot of Michael Jordan cards. Well, hey, it's Michael Jordan. I've got enough. I've been doing these now for a few weeks. I think I'm going to be able to get close to what I want for this Michael Jordan lot. Lots suck at auction. Don't do them. You can do them if you want, but you're leaving money on the table. Bowman Chrome Autos. If I recently list something, and so I have over 100 auctions ending tomorrow night. There's first Chrome autos. There's a ton of autos that have been, frankly, sitting in my store. They've been stale inventory. Some were buy it now at $5. And here's kind of what really led me down this path of, okay, I need to liquidate some of this stuff and just run these 99-cent auctions because they were priced at $5. I recently ran a 50% off sale. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people bought. sold a couple thousand in cards over a 2-day span. But people were passing on these $5 autos they could have got for $250. I run 99-cent auctions, and if one single card sells, there's 99-cent shipping, so I get $1.98 gross out of it. But I've had a lot of repeat customers or people that are bundling and they're saving on shipping because it's maxed out at $4.25, so they can buy. I just shipped out yesterday an 84 card auction order from last week. So they paid $4.25 shipping and got a bunch of 99-cent autos for basically $1. So those are some of the things that I've done that have led to my success. And I think the auctions, I think it's just kind of, I hate using buzzwords, but synergy. There's just that synergy, adding new product, any new product that has somewhat of a fan base, Allen and Ginter, Heritage, Top Series 1 and Update and Series 2, Bowman, all of that stuff drives traffic to your store. And I see people not just buying. They're like, oh, well, if I buy 7, I can get 25% off, but I only need 5 of these cards. So I'm going to go pick off 2 more cards from the other inventory. So those are some of the things that I've been doing that have increased my sales here over the last few months. Go to the chat. Mark says, being a hobby veteran, I try to tell my salespeople sales are up and down, stay even keel. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Just because you have a string of bad sales days doesn't necessarily mean the market's down, the economy sucks, and blah, 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 blah. It's sales. You're going to have great days. And if your sales are down, and I want to stress this, if you're complaining about your sales being down, I want you, and you're asking questions, I also want you to ask questions when your sales are up. When your sales are higher than what you normally make. That's not normal. If your sales are down lower than what they are, that's not normal. It's okay to ask questions, but just make sure to do it on both ends. And I think that's important. Why are my sales so high over the last 3 months, which is leading to this video? Why are my sales so good over the last 3 months? What have I been doing to increase my sales? And I think it's important to realize both ends. Like, instead of just complaining when sales are down and expecting our sales to be 3x higher than what they normally are, we need to stop and think, why are my sales 3x higher? Why are my sales 3x lower than usual? It's the outliers that we need to think about. I was not in the market to spend locally last week as I was saving for Shriners. Day before I left, an incredible opportunity came my way. Had to buy, and it was well worth it. Always be looking. I always say always be buying too. But I think that's dangerous. I think saying that is kind of dangerous territory. I say I'm always buying. I'm not literally always buying. I'm always looking. Just like John said here, and I know sometimes I say, well, I'm going to the card show, but I'm not buying today. But guess what? I usually end up buying. I'm always buying. I'm always looking to buy if the right opportunity presents itself. I'm not going to go to a card show and say, I need inventory, I've got to buy, and just spend foolishly and buy a bunch of dollar cards that are going to net me $1 on eBay. Like, that would be dumb. But if an incredible opportunity falls in my lap, it's like, I don't plan on buying today, but hey, here's $300 in cards that I can easily flip for $1,200. I'm going to buy. So always be looking. Opportunity is everything. Absolutely. Ed says, great seeing you on Saturday. Had a great group of people together in Boston this weekend. Had a great group together in Dallas this weekend. Card shows are booming. Cards are booming. John says, Ed, you are one of my favorite people. Always good to see you. Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing Ed again next year at the National. Johnny says, some people try to do what you do and wonder why they don't have the same results. And I think this is very important to point out and stress. They don't have the social media presence you have makes a difference. All 100% accurate. Absolutely. I would never recommend people doing what I do. because you could be in a completely different, you may not be on social media. You may not have the social media following. You may have 7 kids, 4 kids, 3 kids, a family, 7 dogs, 6 cats, and 4 birds. You may have other obligations. You may have health issues. There are so many things. What I do cannot be, I can't say, well, I can do it, so can you, because everybody's situation is different. And the results, what's the thing? Results may not be normal or whatever on like the weight loss ads and the different ads. Everybody's situation is different. So if you ask, well, can I do this full time? I don't know, because I don't know your background. I don't know your health. I don't know your family obligations. I don't know your financial setup. I don't know your drive. Like, it's a fucking grind. It's a real, especially on this end, selling the low stuff, the $1.50. We're gonna list some Allen and Ginter inserts today for $1.75. It's a fucking grind. If you don't have the willpower to grind through the shipping and listing and shipping and shitting, and I think I said shitting there. That's part of it too. Then it's just not going to be for you. Lot goes into it. A lot goes into it. Unicorn Cupcake says, where is Low Roller Scratcher boasting about Bitcoin? Oh man, every fucking day for the last 3 years. He is correct. He has been telling us to buy Bitcoin for the last 3 years. So I will give credit where credit's due. He did tell us to buy Bitcoin at 16,000. So I will give credit where credit's due. John says, it's been so easy that I pondered going full time fleetingly. I love it. And sometimes it comes natural for some people. Some people, it doesn't come naturally. We are all wired differently. Some could step into selling cards full time and have great success. Some people could step into selling cards full time and just absolutely fail. Everybody is built different. LRS equals Mike Smith. Mike Smith is on sabbatical until tomorrow. Thank you. See, that wrench comes in handy. George says, I've been pondering jumping out the window of my 3rd floor balcony. Unfortunately, that would only make things worse. Please don't do that. 3 floors is only enough to cause inconvenience in life. Unicorn Cupcake says, why are you scared of the elevator girl? Wasn't that a song, Elevator Girl? No, that was Cinnamon Girl. You know, I think I'm the only person, we'll get to John's comment. I think I'm the only person that likes Typo Negative's rendition of Cinnamon Girl. I had when I worked at the grocery store in high school, there was a dude that would come in, and he was a big like Neil Young fan. And I'm like, oh, have you heard the Typo? And probably shortly after Typo Negative released it. And I'm like, dude, Typo Negative has Cinnamon Girl. It's freaking awesome. And the next day he comes into the grocery store and he's like, I should punch you for suggesting that Typo Negative's version was something that I could enjoy. But I like it. John says, I sell occasional quarter cards for $1.82. Someone will pay when they need, but I don't worry if it's sitting in my store for 2 years until it sells. Passive income. Absolutely. And it's certainly not the $1.50 stuff is not something that I make my living on. It's collective. It's part of the revenue stream. It goes into the coffers, but it's definitely, it's kind of like when I was in radio, when I was in radio on the sales side, you know, the passive income was getting those annual contracts, like sign up XYZ liquor store for an annual contract, and you just get that revenue stream on a monthly basis. That monthly payment comes in, and then focus on, you know, the random special sales and all that stuff. And that's how I look at my $1.75 cards. It's just passive income. I just literally shipped this morning $30 worth of Wade Boggs Junk Wax era cards. That's a nice $30 sale on a bunch of junk wax that would sit in a quarter box. So I like those sales. John says, stop treating your store like it's a refrigerator. John says that elevator costs extra. We have to pay a monthly fee in Korea. I should utilize it. Cody wants to know, when will the MVP buyback start? Once the MVP is announced, which I don't know when the MVP is going to be announced. But I think it's fair to say Aaron Judge is going to be your American League MVP and Ohtani on the National League side. When is baseball MVP announced? Here's your guide to award season. Let's see. So we're on November 6th. So nothing is being announced today. Platinum gloves are being announced. What's today? Friday, November 8th. Next week, Silver Sluggers. All MLB teams on November 14th. Reliever of the Year, DH. Comeback Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year announced on the 18th. Manager of the Year on the 19th. And Cy Young on the 20th. And we culminate on the MVP awards on November 21st. Ohtani, the favorite in the National League, Judge on the American League side. So November 21st is when those will be announced. So that is when the buybacks will begin. John says, YMMV equals your mileage that may vary. George says, don't worry, I ain't jumping tonight. It's 11 p.m. and I'm making a grilled cheese. John says, wait, the hobby hasn't announced the MVP yet. The hobby has, but it's not official. Troy says, when you get an auction with someone who doesn't pay, do you block them? I've had a few this last week. I usually just ignore it. I don't even look unless it's so I'm running so many auctions and so many low-end auctions that I don't even care. I think I have, you can set up in your settings. If you ask me where to find it, just go to your settings. That's my answer to everything. It's in your check your settings. There's a setting where you can automatically block anybody with like 2 unpaid. So I'll get messages from people like, hey, I can't buy anything from your store because I didn't pay, but it was a mistake and I'm good. I'll pay. And it's like, all right, tough shit. It's there for a reason. So there's that setting, and then you can block. I will block if I had a big hit from Ginter, like a $500 card that the person didn't pay, and then I had to go and reload it for another auction, then I would block them. But if it's a 99-cent auction that sells for $2, I don't worry about it. I just do I let the setting take care of it. So they can't come back and do it again. But yeah, it's kind of up to your own discretion. If some people are quicker on the block button than others, I'm middle ground. I'm not quick, but I also have a pretty lengthy block list over the last few years as well. Johnny wants to know, what is the MVP buyback? So Topps, they started this a couple of years ago in Topps Chrome. They will buy back basically the cards of the American League MVP and the National League MVP. So in fact, do I have it? I may have it next to me. Were these auctions that ended last night? Yeah, perfect. I got one right here. So this is 2024 Topps Chrome. This is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge will win the American League MVP. So this is Topps Chrome 2024 card number 50. So this is worth $20 in card shop credit for those participating card shops. So this actually went on and sold at auction last night for, I think, $15. And it's basically just a common Aaron Judge card from 2024 Topps Chrome. You also get more for like refractors and colors. So there's like a scale. I think if you go to topps.com, you can look up the details. But just look for a participating card shop, and you can take, once the MVP is announced and the program begins, you can take, and some people will like carry in wheelbarrow. I think last year there was somebody that carried in a wheelbarrow full of buybacks for store credit. So you can go in and get $20 in store credit, get hobby boxes, singles, whatever the hell you want from your local card shop. So that is the MVP buyback. I think it's freaking cool. I think it's one of the best things Topps has done here in the last few years. I believe it started in 2022. Is that correct? I think this is the third year. I think we're going into the third year of the program. So I think it's pretty cool. And this is a card that I think I pulled out of a dollar box, if not just in a bulk buy. So, and I pulled an Ohtani and another Judge that also sold recently. So that's the MVP buyback. That's what I had for today. We're right at 1 hour. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel and visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. I said it again. Take a drink. Buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. That code is only available for buy it now items at regular price. Auctions do not count. You're going to get steals and deals on the auctions anyway. In fact, I have auctions ending tonight. Check them out, 99centcards.com. Every Tuesday night, we count the auctions down right here on YouTube on our eBay auctions live stream Tuesday nights. But auctions are running other nights of the week, including tonight and ending tomorrow night as well. So have a wonderful Wednesday. We will do this again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. See you then.